I am from Minsk, Belarus, which is Western Europe's final dictatorship. I say that with no great pride. My first encounter with my Judaism was a very odd one. We lived in an apartment complex, and the bully of the complex beat me senselessly and insulted me, and he said that you're a Jew, and I'd heard the word and I denied it. I did not know. No, my goodness, no, that is the worst thing. No, I'm not a Jew, and I went home bloody and crying, and I told my mother, and she had no choice. She had to confess. And she asked me to embrace it. There was a synagogue, actually. I should say there was a synagogue. However, that synagogue was attended only by senior citizens who had nothing to lose. For example, a man of my father's age would lose his job if he was caught there. I knew nothing of Jewish culture, Jewish religion, Jewish heritage. I really knew nothing, and that is, I think, a tragedy, because we must know where we come from. And that's why coming to America, to me, opened these doors to find out, wow, this is who I am, this is where I came from, and this is inside of me, and this is so important, because, that's my origin, and that is my soul. And I started to practice more seriously. And at the age of 9, there was a sort of a competition in Italy. Well, not sort of, there was a competition in Italy for adults. And purely, I think, as a joke, it was decided that I would enter the all Soviet Union auditions to be able to go to that competition. And the auditionees were older, and I was 9. So it was, for fun. And I auditioned, and I was chosen somehow. I don't know why, but I was chosen. And, I was 9 years old. Now, that is really, I was a minor, and my sister was my pianist, and they didn't let her come with me because they knew we were a flight risk. So I had to go alone to this competition, which wasn't quite so bad as it sounds. And I was fortunate enough somehow to take the first overall prize. Again, I don't know how, but I did. But, it was a great holiday. And then when I came back to Russia, all my prizes were stripped of me. A violin that I had been awarded, cash, so forth, it was all taken away, And that's when I realized that, wow, my opportunities here to share the language that is nearest to me, the language of music, are incredibly limited. And my parents made the extraordinarily courageous decision to leave everything they had for their children. First of all, the way that you got out of the Soviet Union, at least we did with our refugee status, we went through a group called HIAS. And that meant that they had checkpoints in Vienna and Rome. So we had spent several months sort of getting all the things together, and finally arrived in America a few months later. The Jewish community helped tremendously, because they knew that there was a young violinist and a slightly less young pianist that came. And they got us gigs. They got us to play in so many places. And it was a miracle. It was just because my parents couldn't find work yet. They didn't know English. Lucky for me, because I got to stay home and experience television. I didn't practice. I watched television for about 5 years. But it was difficult for them to get going. and because my sister and I played concerts, we were able to stay afloat. The Jewish family helped us. They gave food stamps, necessary items, and all of these kinds of things. And you know, people in America are so willing to help. The competition that I did when I was 9, well, that instrument was taken away from me, and I came to America with literally a matchbox with 4 strings attached and tried to play. The Jewish community rallied together and got me a better fiddle, and that fiddle got me into the prestigious Curtis Institute of Music. That fiddle. And my mother didn't have a piano. The Jewish community got together, got her a piano. I mean, and this is just our story. And how in the world do you thank people for educating you? How do you thank people for making you a better person? How do you thank people for giving you a better instrument? I mean, how? Well, I wrote a heck of a nice note, but I swore at a very young age that when I'm older, I will do everything I can to give back. However I can, I don't know how, but I will give back. And I'm trying so hard. And whether that's these events for Jewish communities and thanking these people and just telling them that you gave me a chance to be myself. This is just unbelievable. By coming here, by coming to America, one gets a new opportunity, you know, an opportunity to pursue something far greater. But coming from a different world, where Jewish meant a nationality, it did not mean a cultural or religious choice. It was a nationality, right? I have never been called Russian until I came to the United States, mind you, right? And to come here and to be involved with the Jewish Federations of North America and to have this experience and to be immersed in the culture, to be immersed in the holidays, to be immersed, you know, in all kinds of wonderful festivity, means that you very, very slowly start to learn who you are. You know, and to me, the gift, the precious gifts that were given to us, pianos, violins, housing, it goes without saying, one can't never thank enough for such things. But in the end, the opportunity to explore yourself, to look within, to read a book without having to hide, you know, and to understand this is who I am, and I should be proud, and I should know more. That is the gift that they have given us. They have given us the gift to escape ignorance and hatred to knowledge and love. There are no words to describe what that means.